something I'm thankful for is that I'm not married. And especially on a day like this, giving thanks, that is something I'm very thankful for, is that I'm not married and that I have information like MGTOW community and Red Pill, where in the information age, I'm able to read stories and I'm able to get access to more perspectives than a time before. Where I see now, especially in my generation, where technology and the internet, it has some positives, but I do see a lot of negatives with everyone constantly on their phone, having no social skills, poor eye contact. So in a way, I kind of wish that we didn't have all the internet and technology. There are some positives, and one of them is the ability to have that information. So psychologically, people are going to go with what their community is doing or what's around them because they're not trying to be the different person, the off person, the out person. So it makes sense from a certain age on. Like we're all gonna go with the herd, go with the crowd up to a certain point until we can shed those layers. So like a baby, the baby's just gonna drink the bottle or like eat the food that the parents put there. So as an adult, you can make the choice with your diet or your daily routine. Like I can say like, oh, I want to be vegan and I don't want to eat dairy. Whereas a kid, if the mom is putting a bottle of milk in front of you, you're just going to drink it because, like, you're a baby. You got to go with the crowd, right? If you're 3, you still got to go with the crowd. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you got to survive, so you got to go with the crowd, whether that's the religion they place you in or the schools, the politics of that family. Like, you're just reacting to, like, what's around you, and you're just taking in information based on what you think the world is. So it's kind of like too, if you're born in a small town, you think the world's a small town until you grow up and see that there's other places. Like me, I'm born in San Diego, so up to a certain age, it's like, oh, the world's just sunny. Like it's a big city. Like what do you mean there's snow? What do you mean there's harsh winters? But how's it going? Not. Oh no, I'm just doing a YouTube video. So yeah, just I'm not gonna ignore you for that. But I have, yeah, solid color shirts here. Short sleeve tie dye in the front, long in the back. Small, medium, large, and XL.
I'm gonna hit the restroom right up here on the right.
You having a good day?
I am.
Nice.
I am. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
for sure.
Thank you.
I'll see you. Yeah, so you're born in San Diego, and you think up to a certain point, like, oh, like me as a little kid, it's just like the world is always sunny. Like it's November, of course it's sun. Like like because you're going with your community, you're going with what you think the world is. So going off of this concept, I'm talking about with MGTOW and Red Pill and people getting married, guys. In different generations, like say like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and so on, marriage is looked at differently. So I don't know the percentage of like how many people get married or what decade, what the percentage was, but if the majority of the people around you are doing that, then you're just like programmed to go do that, right? You're not trying to be like the guy everyone's looking at, like how come he can't land a wife, right? So the guy just like gets married, and then now you have that contract where there's still biology, there's still hypergamy, there's still other guys that she can look at. So it's like you're just on this like hamster wheel. So especially when we have the 50s and then shifts to the 60s and 70s and the counterculture and hippies and feminism and all of that, now it's like it's like pushed in a way where, oh, if she just wants to like find a better guy, then let her find a better guy, right? She can just get married and divorce with no consequence, and that guy makes more money, or that guy's more attractive to her. And so, a lot of guys, they sign this contract, and now, it's one thing if the relationship ends or she wants to go to a different guy for money or looks, attraction. Every person has the right to, like, leave a relationship, leave whatever. That's fine. Like, people are going to do that. The problem, though, when we're talking about marriage is that you've signed a contract together. And so a failed relationship is not necessarily grounds for one person just owes a bunch of stuff to the other person long term going forward. And that's the problem that a lot of men have with the court system and the way things are. it's not so much like the woman choosing the other man, right? Because that's been in human history. Like if you don't know that kind of stuff, I mean, you're just kind of asleep. I mean, so it's not like a judgment on like a man being able to choose a different woman or a woman being able to choose a different man, but you're involving the government in your life now to a point where he can be making a certain amount of money, or he's established himself, and just because she wants to choose someone else, now he owes money long term, or alimony, or finances, or he can't see his kids now, and it creates a lot of problems based on just like it didn't work out between the two of you, right? Or someone like moved on, right? But instead of like a clean slate, like hey, like let the past be the past and let's move on. Now it's like he could have been building a career, and suddenly his career is tied into like paying her long term when she hasn't been working the career, and just because she chooses like, oh, I want this other guy now. That's guys are waking up to this, and especially in the information age, you're able to hear more of these stories. So as a young man myself, I can learn more about the court system faster, and other stories from men that have gone through marriage and divorce. Whereas before the internet, before the information age, you don't necessarily have that information unless it's word of mouth. And word of mouth is very different than being able to see something online. So as a man in my 20s growing up in this information age, like I was born in 94, so I had a good period of childhood before that technology boom. So I was, I wasn't like the kid at like 3 years old that was like on the iPhone, because I was born in 94. So I got a good chunk of childhood before that huge technology boom. But now it's like people are growing up in it. So you got the kids that, they're walking around always looking at their phone. They don't know how to talk to each other. And so there's a lot of negatives with this, the phones, the internet, the technology. But one of the positives is definitely the information. So I'm able to like read more about MGTOW or Red Pill, or marriages that other guys have gone through, and I'm able to learn about the court system way faster than just word of mouth previously. Whereas if you're growing up in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s as an adult, then you don't have that internet, you don't have that technology, you only have what's around you, you only have the word of mouth. And so that psychological aspect kicks in again, where the people around you is going to dictate your sense of reality. So if everyone around you is getting married, like it's like, oh, like look at like the guy that can't get a wife, like what the weird guy, like what's he doing? So like it forces you to like go look for marriage, because you're not trying to be the out person, right? Like nobody, if you're growing up in like a Christian community or Muslim or Jewish, like you're not gonna just like randomly be the other thing as a kid. When your whole community is doing that, you're not just going to be the other thing unless you have that cerebral sense at a certain age. Like I went to a Catholic school, and from preschool to 12th grade, and I've never identified that way myself. Like even when people ask like, what's your religion? I go to school, and these are my friends, and we like play like kickball and basketball at recess, and you get into an argument with your friend, and then you make up, and you're just kids again, and you're playing, and then you go to his house on the weekends, and he's white or he's black, or it doesn't like. I just never, even as a kid, it just like, what's your religion? It's like, I don't know. I guess I'm just here at this school. I never had that like, I'm Catholic just because I went to a Catholic school. But everyone's at a different phase with that, and a different place in their life. And it's not to say that you have to believe a certain thing. Believe whatever you want. I'm not saying like don't believe in whatever religion you want to, or don't have whatever political view you want to. I'm just saying that like a part of you is like your circumstance. It's like what's around you. So sometimes you get these people that are like 40, 50 years old, and they're so adamant that like the religion they grew up in, the religion their parents told them is so correct. Everyone else is just doing it wrong, right? Everyone else got it wrong. They're the right person. And you just look at some people that get to a certain point. It's like, man, you haven't had at least like a basic introspection of like you were just born to that. Therefore, that's how you think of it. I'm not saying drop it forever, but you can't just, everyone else is just wrong and stupid because you were born to this. Like open your mind a little bit to that. Like kind of see. That's what I'm saying with this, with MGTOW and with marriage. A lot of it's just like society pressure. And so I'm thankful for the fact that I'm able to learn more about the court system in the information age, and marriage and divorce and hypergamy and male and female intersexual dynamics. I'm able to use my own experiences and also the experiences of other people to kind of form a collective where everyone can learn from it, whether they agree with a piece of content or disagree, like it or dislike it, or it helped them or didn't help them, whatever. There's that collective sense of it. So me as a man in my 20s, growing up in the information age, where as a time where, men in their 20s, in previous generations, that's like marriage time, right? It's like you're after high school, after college, they look for marriage in their 20s, where I'm in my 20s now in this information age where I can navigate the waters a little clearer. And so that's one positive with all this technology in the internet. Sometimes it's an overload. Like, honestly, like the way I view YouTube is I want to put out content that makes sense. I want to do something positive. I want to impact people in however I can, like share content in the way I want to. I don't look at social media as, oh, I'm going to have a Facebook and an Instagram. I'm just going to care what my family thinks about me or my friends or people from high school, people from college, people I've worked with. I don't look at social media that way. Preferably, I wish that like nobody had social media or a phone or like technology or the internet, because it has pros, it has cons, it has positives, it has negatives, but I just see a lot of negatives with like everyone going around looking on their phone. And it's one thing, like if you want to be on your phone, like I said, there's a lot of good information out here. So like I like looking at YouTube videos and I like reading stuff, but then some people don't know how to break that and then just, whoa, phone flipped. Okay, but some people don't know how to break that and just have a conversation and look somebody in the eyes and just like be human, right? So like the technology is kind of desensitizing people in a certain sense. But I'm just saying with like this with MGTOW and with marriage in general, I'm thankful that I'm not married. I'm thankful that I've learned about like divorce court, because as a kid growing up, you just think that that's what you're going to do as an adult, right? Everyone around you is married. Like I said, it's that psychology. So like you think, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to have a wife and kids and a white picket fence, and that's just how life is going to play out. And so that is a positive of the information age, the technology. You're able to see things, navigate the waters a little easier, and really get the most potential out of your life. And so I'm very thankful I'm not married, and especially working this tie-dye job in San Diego now. And it's funny because I'll be at the beaches and the zoo and all over the city, and couples and people come from all over the world. And I hear this all the time. The woman will come up and she'll buy something, and she'll say, "Let me go get my wallet," and then she comes back with the man. He pulls out his wallet and pays. Or the couple's there and they make a joke about like, oh, like, am I just like a walking resource to you? Like the guy will say that, and the girl will be like, no, you're not, and give him a kiss on the cheek. And it's kind of like that playful thing, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's just funny. So like I'm able to see certain things that kind of don't motivate me to get married, right? They don't, like, especially like a woman here, like on vacation or something. I think I'm just meeting like a cool woman, and then you find out she's got like a boyfriend or a husband back home, or just like, or he's here, but she's just like, he's at the beach and she's just like here at the stand or something. And like, it just like with certain conversations, you're just like, yeah, no, this does not motivate me to go obtain my own wife. So I'm going to stay a bachelor. I'm going to stay single. And it's not saying that just because I make videos and I label MGTOW or Red Pill, it's not to say that I want women out of my life completely. No, I love women. I love what they bring to my life in a certain way. But like, definitely when it comes to this marriage stuff, you're inviting the government in. You're asking a man to sign a legal contract. And I wasn't born yesterday. So like, as a woman, if I'm dating a woman at like 26, she has every option and every right to just go look at another guy and be like, nope, he's better for me, and she can leave. Like I said, it's fine. Human history is pretty extensive to this point. We know that she's going to look at other guys, right? You know that she's going to like assess different things. So I'm not saying that you have to stay with me, but you want me to sign a legal contract where like you can still make the choice, because you're in this, like I said, back to the psychology thing, like the era of feminism. What's up? 20 for a short sleeve tie-dye, 25 for a long sleeve. But yeah, with this era of feminism, it's that psychology thing where if women grow up in that and everyone around them is talking about feminism, then she has this perception where, okay, well, I can do whatever I want. I can party. I can be with as many guys as I want. like I said, you have the right to do that, but now, okay, so you're asking like for a marriage contract, you know, like where you're still gonna be feminist, but then you're gonna ask for a marriage contract. Okay, so like how's that gonna play out? You want like equality, right? So what about paying half and half for dates? What about like if we're gonna get married and you want a husband for like a faithful relationship? Is it gonna be a faithful relationship, or are you just gonna say later in life, oh no, feminism, and I can choose whatever. I'm gonna get divorced and go with that guy. It's like, okay, well, like again, like be a feminist if you want, but why would I get married, right? Like come on, like I mean, that's the thing with feminism. It's like back like the old model of the 50s, not saying that the era of the 50s was necessarily the best with other aspects of society, but the ideal model where the woman's in her peak from like late teens and early 20s and the guy is just starting, so they have a trade-off. He's going to work his way up through a company or a job or a business. She's going to give him her prime years, and in exchange, when he gets to that point in his late 20s or 30s where he's now on top of stuff, he's going to take care of her the rest of her life, and that's like the even trade-off. But now you got feminism, and you've got different aspects of society and divorce court where it doesn't incentivize anybody, especially men, to get married, and I'm thankful that I'm not married.